This is Tony Diaz, a libro traficante, author of The Tip of the Pyramid, Cultivating Community Cultural Capital. Thank you so much for joining us on Nuestra Palabra, Latino Writers Having Their Say. This is our multi-platform broadcast, so maybe you're tuning in first on social media, or perhaps you're watching the video version of this on fox26houston.com, or you might be listening to the audio version of this program on the platform that started it all, 90.1 FM KPFT, Houston's community station. And I have to pause and thank our listeners for supporting Nuestra Palabra and the station for all these years. And I got to ask you to keep doing it. If you could kindly budget a donation in the name of Nuestra Palabra for KPFT. And if you can go to kpft.org or call 713-526-5738 and make that donation, we'd be much obliged, because then we are doing our part to keep this wonderful experiment in freedom of speech going, because we are then able to transmit our terms on our terms, the shows that we like, the topics that we like, the cultura that we like, and we are experts in our community, and we are really, really deep in the community. That's what today's show is all about. We are so happy to bring back our friends from one of your favorite concerts, the Accordion Kings and Queens show. And we have them here on the screen. Want to thank the executive director of Texas Folklife, Charlie Lockwood. Hey, thanks for coming back, my friend.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Tony. Thank you so much for having us.
And we're going to hear about some great events you got coming up in May and then June. And also, I really love that you are building out the Houston team. Of course, you're statewide and your capacity is global, but now you're bringing a lot of our Houston familia to the table. Lupe, ¿cómo estás, hermano? Great to see you. Lupe Olivares Jr. He is production coordinator for the Accordion Kings and Queens in Texas Folklife this time around. ¿Cómo estás, mano?
Bien, muy bien. It's so good to be here with you, Tony. It's been a little while since we've connected, but I'm glad that Nuestra Palabra is still kicking it, and we support it every way we can.
I appreciate that, and we're patting each other on the back, but it's going to be a great pachanga when we're there at the Miller, and you got some cool stuff coming up in May, and you're always hooking us up with some tickets también. So, for folks that want to get some tickets from Nuestra Palabra, hit us up in the messages or send us an email. Get in touch with us through the social media platforms, or also our phone number, and we'll make sure to hook you up. But this is going to be a great show. We're going to find out about the cool dates coming up, as well as some of the great performers. And let's talk about two events. Charlie, you got something coming up in May 1st. Let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, I first want to say, we're really excited to have Lupe on our team this year. I hope we can spend a little time talking about kind of his work, for years in the Houston music community and all of the incredible work that he's done. So we're happy to, again, like you said, kind of building out our Houston team and working with people that we know the community and know kind of, what Houstonians and what different folks in the community are going to want to see and hear. So Lupe, I just want to say again, like, honored to have you part of our team. This event is coming up June 30, you mentioned, the 34th annual Accordion Kings and Queens. And we have a few things kind of leading up to that kind of build the momentum towards that. The one happening in Houston in May is on Friday, May 19th. We're going to be doing a fundraiser event, a silent auction and benefit to support Accordion Kings and Queens. We're going to be doing another multicultural experiment that we like to do. We're going to have Corey McCauley and the Evangeline Aces, local Cajun group, accordion player, playing at the SPJST Lodge 88 in the Heights for this event. So it's going to be outdoor in their beer garden. It's going to be a fun time. Tickets are as affordable as $10. You can check all the info out on our website. You can see some of the graphics here if you're tuning in on live stream right now. You can find all the info about it at texasfolklife.org. And it's going to be, again, a cultural mashup. We're going to be bringing a Cajun band to a Czech dance hall where we know that accordion is popular, and we think that this might be a cool event for everyone in the community. So if you want to support Accordion Kings and Queens, this is one way to do it. You can go to this event on May 19th, I think 6 to 8 p.m. Friday, May 19th at the SPJST Lodge 88 in the Heights. And, I just want to pick up on something you mentioned, Tony, because we, people, in our line of work in the nonprofit world, doing community work, we're always asking for support. And I think it's important to point out like why we do that. It's this is not just because we feel like it. It's because, we really need the support of our communities to make our work possible. We are often working hand in hand with community leaders or arts leaders to celebrate and showcase, what makes communities vibrant. Like you said, we can be the experts in our communities. And, I never claim to be an expert in any community but my own, but I do like to work with, those community experts and community leaders to showcase those things that make their communities what they are. So this is, your chance to support, a nonprofit like Texas Folklife by going to this silent auction event. Just buying a ticket helps us. Entering the silent auction helps us. We have a number of items from different businesses across Houston that are donating some things. Those items are still rolling in. A chance to see some Cajun accordion music, and go to a Czech dance hall beer garden event. So it's the perfect kind of lead up to AKQ. So support Texas Folklife through that. Support KPFT and Nuestra Palabra through making donations. We really need your support. So that's one thing we have coming up that leads up to the June 3rd event.
And to kind of translate that for some of our listeners, it would be kind of like the excitement of bringing a Chicano event to a Boricua, a Boricua cultural house. So it's that kind of coolness. And I'll be honest, I did not realize that center existed here in Houston. And I'm a Houston resident. So what I love is here's a cool chance to check out a new spot in Houston, but you're bringing all these other levels of culture together as well, too, by design.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's, this lodge has been around for a long time. Their website, I think it's just lodge88.org. I might have to find the link for you, but they have a whole history of the kind of events and community that they've had there for years. And I know they're welcoming to us and welcoming some new music that their audience members might find familiar, but will be, it'll be a little bit different for them. So it's going to be a really fun night, and maybe we'll have some special guests rolling in. But it's the perfect lead up, we think, to our June 3rd event. So please check that out. Friday, May 19th.
I do want to, I'm going to get Lupe back on here in a second. I do want to talk more about the music, but let's talk about the need for funding, because you're in your third or fourth year, you put on these huge shows, and, you hit deep pockets of the community. You've got thousands of people at the Miller Outdoor Theater. People may think that you've got this major, I think that's what happens. It happens to us too. We put on these great shows, we bring on these great speakers, and people think we've got $1 million budgets. Mm-hmm. Is that the case, Charlie?
No, it's not the case. We pride ourselves on, the productions we put together. I'm working with great team members like Lupe to make a fantastic show, and like the crew at the Miller Outdoor Theater that works hard and makes everything look good and sound good. But, again, we're a community nonprofit organization. A lot of us, have, deep pride and commitment in the work that we do. And it takes a lot of funds just to put these kind of shows together. Not only, paying the artists, which we always also pride ourselves on making sure that we're compensating these artists at a level that they think is fair and is going to be worth their time, because there's so much sort of unspoken labor and time and commitment and resources that go into being a performing artist, from rehearsal to travel, preparation, loading in, loading out. So we pride ourselves on doing that. And there are real costs that add up. And, as your listeners might know, things are more expensive these days. And we mostly do free and public events. So unlike sort of a business that can sort of pass on its higher cost to consumers, we don't do that because we're doing, mostly community events that are free or very affordable. So, we need support. You get a tax deductible donation if that kind of thing matters to you, donating to a 501c3 nonprofit. But just knowing that your dollars are going towards a good cause is maybe the most important part of that. So TexasFolklife.org is our website. You can become a member and donate to us. I'll get into more of the pitch there later, but essentially, one thing that we like to do is offer our members covered seating tickets to the Accordion Kings and Queens show on June 3rd. So if you don't win these tickets from Tony, the giveaway, which those are going to be very popular. If you don't win those, you can also grab some covered seating tickets to the event by becoming a member and donating Texas Folklife. For our most sort of entry level annual rate is $25. So just with a $25 donation, you get to sit under those wonderful fans there at the Miller Theater that blow nice and cold on those hot June nights. And you get to enjoy a lot of other perks, become kind of part of our community at Texas Folklife. So I encourage everyone to check that out on our website for Accordion Kings and Queens. You can become a member and get some tickets to the event.
Fantastic. Appreciate you keeping that show for free. And it's a fun party. Speaking of parties, let's bring Lupe back on. And hey, Lupe, you being on our show on KPFT, a lot of folks are going to recognize your voice, recognize your name, and remember your musical legacy, which is, still going on and strong. But remind some of our listeners about the legacy of Lupe.
Okay. Well, I'm from East Los Angeles. I came here as a teenager in the early 70s. I'd never seen an accordion in my life. Okay. Until I came to Houston, to Texas, with my family. And, I always saw it as when I did see it and when I came here, it was mainly in the Mexicano bands, the Mexican bands, at the weddings and quinceañeras and all that. And I sort of started getting to know the accordion. But in the 80s, as I started working for the Houston International Festival, and I really got an introduction to the accordion during those early years. At that time, they had a Zydeco stage / cage, and as a young man, and I got to work with people like Wayne Toops, Buckwheat Zydeco, and Clifton Chenier, Los Lobos, and Joel Guzman, and Flaco Jimenez, and I started seeing the connection of all these different sounds, and all these cultures just melting together, and this is what folk life has been cultivating all these years. And I even though I kind of joined this year, I've been a fan of the concert. I've gone to a few and always had a great time, and I've gotten to work with some of the promoters in other towns like San Antonio, and the some years back with Pat Jasper back in the day. And so I quickly became a fan of the accordion, and in the present, I started doing some research on the artists that we have coming this year, and I tell you what, Alex Mixner just blew me away. He just has a whole new look with the accordion of sound, and this guy will keep you on the edge of your seats. And so if he was the only one on the bill, I mean, the other two are awesome too. But I was just like, couldn't take my eyes off the screen when I was checking him out. I'm just real excited to be part of this.
More about this groundbreaking style.
Well, he brings in the more of a European, from what I could tell. I'm not an expert, but he brings in a European uh, polka sound, and he mixes it with all the stuff that he's done in the States, including rock. It's like you're looking at a rock band sometimes. And the accordion is the lead guitar. He's like Jimmy Page on the accordion. I was just like, this guy.
Yeah, he's also he plays classical. He's plays jazz. He also is a great jazz trumpeter. He's total Renaissance kind of musician, and Alex has been not only incredible performer who will blow you away, but also he really has this spirit of collaboration. He's done work with different school districts in South Texas. He's done collaborations with some of the Conunto educators we work with in the Valley. He really understands what's at stake in the work we do to support folk and traditional arts and support that next generation of kids, continuing these traditions. And he's been one of the biggest champions of our Big Squeeze program over the years. And he actually just relocated to Texas. He was living in Florida for a while, and now he's in the New Braunfels area. So he's totally active on the Texas polka circuit and the national polka circuit as well. And a really great advocate to be part of the show, in addition to his chops, which are just awesome.
And of course, on our 90.1 FM KPFT broadcast, we're going to be playing a lot of the music that we're talking about, and we want to get people excited about seeing them in person. We're going to talk about some of the other performers. We're going to see what else is exciting, Lupe. But Charlie, give us the facts for this 34th edition. 34?
Yeah, it's the 34th annual.
Give us the facts for the 34th edition of the Accordion Kings and Queens concert.
Sure. Lupe, you feel free to jump in here with anything you have. I think like Lupe was kind of saying, when you start, realizing kind of how all these traditions kind of influence each other, it's really incredible to think about the accordion as central to that story of how Texans and people coming to Texas and leaving, moving through Texas, this instrument has been just such a major part of the history of the music that's developed here and what's currently practiced by communities across the state. And so this event for 34 years has been celebrating that fact, getting people together to see that familiarity in that accordion sound, maybe learn something new, hear something new, dance a little different style. And this event is about doing that and celebrating that. And so we're happy, excited about this lineup. We have the headliner is Cedric Watson, and his band. He is a Creole musician who actually is from San Felipe, Texas, a little west of Houston. Now lives in Louisiana, Lake Charles area, but he is also a fiddler. He's an accordion player. I think he also builds accordions, and he's really just like a kind of reservoir of Creole music and culture. And so he and his band are going to be playing some Creole music, playing some Zydeco music, and they're going to bring the energy. And then the other groups we already mentioned, Alex Meixner, and we have a Conunto group, Grupo Imagen. They're from Corpus, and they actually won in 2015. They were the recipient of the Tejano Music Awards Best New Group category. And they've recorded a bunch of albums, and they just have released some singles recently. And the band leader there is Sylvia Navarro, who is an incredible accordion player, and she actually has been a judge of our Big Squeeze contest over the years. So, they're going to bring sort of that Corpus Conunto sound, which is, unique in terms of regional style. And this is a female fronted band. So we have the Kings and the Queens.
Nice.
Lupe, I'll just keep talking, man. I want you to add anything.
No, I just wanted to add, when I was looking at some of these YouTube videos for Cedric, I started feeling that he was bringing in African rhythms and things like that, and he was just mesmerizing and sometimes a little hypnotic, in his approach. There's the three artists are so totally different from each other that it's it's like you're going to see three different shows, and they just happen to play the accordion. But yeah, but they're totally different artists, totally different sounds, totally different shows in one place. And I think that's so exciting for people to be able to go to one place and feed from all these different sounds.
And that's going to be June 3rd for free at the Miller Outdoor Theater. What time does it start?
Start time is 7:00.
7
I think that's
p.m.
right.
And you know what I love about the Accordion Kings and Queens concert? They're always a great show, right? Even when you have some of the new talent, the kids performing for the first time, they may not have that experienced polish, but they make up for it with the nervous energy, and they just give it their all, and the fans are going crazy for them. And what I love too is, Lupa, you mentioned that each performer has their own style, and they hit it hard, but the audience embraces them all. Like, you're gonna see folks, from all backgrounds dancing to each other's music. I think it's the most exciting ethnic studies class around, and it's a fun party.
Oh yeah, yeah. Get there early. There will be merchandise booths. You can help us by buying some of our T-shirts and making donations. But do get there early. Get you a nice seat or hang out on the grass.
Yeah, another part of the show is that this is the Miller Theater's 100th performance season. So that's really incredible, to be part of that. 100 years of shows and performances for the Houston community. And we have a poster who I think you've been displaying that here on the video live stream that kind of honors that. We were able to find some old photos from the 20s when the theater first opened, and we grabbed some of the iconography there and like what the stage used to look like.
Wow.
We put that as part of the poster artwork. So we're trying to honor that as well, and we're honored to be part of that special occasion. It's really pretty incredible legacy.
It's amazing too that it is for free, and I want to go back to that because both of your cariño for the music and for the community is evident, and I think it's also clear when you go to this great show, people are feeling it. You're going to have some great raffles. There's always some great prizes that folks can win when they join and become members on the spot. But I do want to point out that, as you mentioned earlier, Texas Folklife does need funds, and you've kept the show for free. There's thousands of folks that attend, and I'm thinking, even if you were charging like $50 a person, every 1,000 is 50,000. That would be $50,000. And I don't want to violate any fire codes. Okay. So I don't want to give an estimate of the numbers, but if you were charging, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that would be coming in, but you're not. So I do want to mention that it is great for people to pitch in whatever they can, and some folks can give a little more, some folks a little less, some folks can't give every year, but we do want to remind them that they can give at that time. Mention again the May 19th fundraiser, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing kind of a tune-up for AKQ on May 19th, Friday, May 19th at the SPJST Lodge 88 in the Heights. We're going to be doing a silent auction. We have some great items that local businesses and some folks around the state actually have been donating. We're going to probably start the raffle for a Hohner accordion early as well at that. So that'll be on display. Hohner Accordions is one of our longtime sponsors. They've generously donated an instrument for us to raffle off to a lucky winner at the show. We're going to have Corey McCauley and the Evangeline Aces Cajun band playing some Cajun accordion. It's during the lodge's beer garden event, so they're going to have a lot of drinks on hand. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be a good time. Just buying a ticket for that, helps us. I think the ticket prices are $10. They go up from there if you want some extra goodies and extra merch. We're gonna have some new merchandise available. Some koozies and cups and other special surprises. But yeah, just showing up to that, entering the silent auction, bidding on some items, buying a ticket, that really will help support our show. That, you know, the whole thing is raising funds to support the big event on June 3rd. So it's Friday, May 19th at the SPJST Lodge. And you can find out more info on that at texasfolklife.org.
And just to clarify, so did I hear you right that you're going to start giving folks the opportunity to enter the raffle for the Hohner accordion? Because that
Yep.
every year, that is a beautiful accordion that they donate. I mean, this really is a wonderful prize. So you're opening it up early at the May 19th event?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, we'll have it on display and people can, you know, drop a ticket in and let it ride until June 3rd.
and get more, and they can get, you know,
Yeah,
if they
they
go
can.
to both, increase their odds of winning. And I've had the pleasure of hosting in the past, and I will say this: I verify. I'm putting my hands up, and I swear, totally on the up and up. Totally stack of tickets like that, you know. And throughout the night, there's a lot of cool other prizes from some other champions of culture here in Houston. Really cool prizes up and down the winning chart. But it really is magical to see people's faces when they see the accordion, the Hohner accordion that's being raffled, let alone when they know they're taking it home with them. How many years has Hohner been doing that? Do you know off the top of your head?
At least 15 years, I believe, they've been
Wow.
sponsoring the event, and been sponsoring our Big Squeeze program, maybe 12 to 15 years. So longtime supporters. And, you know, one thing we did last year, we're going to see if we can replicate that this time. It's not finalized yet, but, you know, it's great to win an accordion, but if you don't know how to play it, you know, it looks pretty, but, you know, it has a better function. So we're going to see if we can also raffle off with the accordion a couple of intro lessons from a accordionist, so people can actually learn how to play. And believe me, we know most of the great ones across the state, so we'll find someone good to couple that with the accordion.
That's very cool. And we'll give the facts out one more time in a bit, but I do want to mention that you're going to be having the Big Squeeze finals in May as well. And that's another important tradition. I really appreciate how you know, you go out of your way to develop. I call it cultivate community cultural capital. Tell folks
Yep.
about that.
Absolutely. So the Big Squeeze finals is going to be May 13th in Austin. This is another long running program of Texas Folklife's that is a statewide youth accordion contest. So these are kids, mostly different categories, have different ages, but it's mostly under 21 years old. Kids across Texas compete every year. This year they entered video submissions. We had judges score them for an initial round, and there's such popularity in the conjunto genre that we had a whole semifinals round just for conjunto earlier this month down in Edinburgh in South Texas. We partner with the city of Edinburgh and the Museum of South Texas History as part of the Edinburgh Music Fest. And we had, I think it was 12 contestants in the semifinals there, and they all performed, and several were selected to be part of the finals in Austin. And so, you know, we have a polka category, we have 2 different conjunto categories. So these are kids that, you know, are, you know, from communities across the state. The conjunto players are mostly from South Texas, Ed Couch, Mission, San Benito. But we also have a finalist this year actually from Pasadena, who is in the Houston area, and his teacher is a gentleman named Rigo Gonzalez, who, you know, he teaches dozens of kids every year out of his house, actually, in an incredible studio setup that he has. So these kids are from all over the state, different backgrounds, different communities, and they're all coming to Austin on May 13th to compete for that grand prize, where they will win. If they're one of the winners, they'll win Hohner accordion as well from Hohner, and the chance to play at AKQ, sit in for a song. So it's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for them. And this is the 17th year of that contest. And we've had, I think, over 400 kids now over those years try out for this event. And some of them come back year after year and become part of our community. So that's also free. That's at the Bullock Museum in the Spirit Texas Theater. Free event Saturday, May 13th. Also, Josh Baca and the Hot Tamales will be performing. Josh Baca most famously plays with Los Tex Maniacs out of San Antonio. The Tamales are kind of a fusion group. They do a little bit of conjunto, they do a little zydeco. And then we also have one of the instructors of many of our kids this year is going to be performing. Her name's Elena Feinstein, and she's actually from Eastern Europe. And she's going to be playing some traditional Eastern European accordion for that event too. So we got Eastern European music. We've got Josh Baca and the Hot Tamales, and we have the Big Squeeze finals Saturday, May 13th.
And we have a cachorrito in the background spurring us on, which is cool, which is too cool. And, since we're speaking of traditions, we're very happy to have you both on. This is the 25th anniversary season of Nuestra Palabra, Latino writers having their say. Not the radio show is that long. Well, thank you so much, but
Congratulations.
we as an organization, and we are doing many live events. So if you catch us before the June 3rd event at our live events, we'll be happy to give you some of our allotment of tickets to the Big Squeeze. And Lupe, how do we team up to get more people excited and more people to go to the Accordion Kings and Queens show June 3rd? Although I know you're pushing also for the May 19th fundraiser. Any ideas up your sleeve, or should we keep the people guessing and just surprise them?
Well, no, I mean, social media plays such a important role in this, and I'll be posting. Everybody will be posting, and if you happen to see the post, repost it, share it. Just tell everybody. We will have some posters, some flyers, and just word of mouth, and we'll just cultivating and getting the excitement happening as we get closer and closer to the May 19th date, and then in Houston the June 3rd. So yeah, the best tool we have is our mouth and our fingers. And get out there and promote this. I don't see why not. It's just a great show. It's a place where you can take the whole family and still have some money to buy a Coke and hot dog or something. So it's whenever I go to a festival or something and I see a band that I've, it just educates me. Like band that I've never seen or heard, the type of music that they're doing, and I just got, wow, what are they doing? And I just get all curious about it. But this is what this is. These are gems that Folklife for many years have been looking under rocks and finding these wonderful young artists and sometimes older artists that are wonderful and never really got their due to perform in a big place like Miller Theater, and so it's just a great, and you can tell by the type of shows that they produce and that they put out all across the state of Texas. So I'm glad to be part of the team. Thank you.
Fantastic. Charlie, close us up by giving folks again the dates and times and the highlights. And of course, please do follow us on social media and at our live events to get a few of our allotment of tickets. Charlie, what are those dates and times?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you again for having us. It's always an honor and great to see you and talk with you, Tony. The first one for the Houston area folks, May 19th, Friday, May 19th, we have the Accordion Kings and Queens tune-up silent auction and benefit at the SPJST Lodge 88 in the Heights. It's for a ticket about $10. You can pay a little more to get some more goodies. We'll get you in the door. We're going to have a silent auction with some great items and experiences. and some great Cajun music and great beer garden event. All of the proceeds from that supports our Accordion Kings and Queens show, allows us to, make sure we can compensate our artists and cover all of our fees and expenses. So that one leads up to the June 3rd, Saturday, June 3rd, 34th Annual Accordion Kings and Queens at the Miller Theater. And that's a free event. You can show up and sit on the hill. But if you want a covered seating ticket, you can either get lucky, win them from Tony, or you can become a member and donate to Texas Folklife for as low as $25 for an annual membership. And we'll give you a pair of tickets under the covered seating area for the event. We're also going to have some merch and T-shirts and other items like Lupe mentioned available. It's going to be a great time of multicultural Texas accordion music, Saturday, June 3rd. And you can find out all this info at texasfolklife.org.
And thank you so much for always making sure that this tradition stays on, that it's affordable, and always coming back here to promote it. Appreciate you both. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hey, this is Tony Diaz, el Libro Traficante. I want to give a shout out to our crew. Roxana Guzman is our multi-platform producer, and Rodrigo Bravo is our sound engineer. Appreciate their work getting this out across all of our platforms. And I do want to give a shout out to our listeners on KPFT 90.1 FM, Houston's community station. And we count on you a lot. Some of you donate your time and energy. Some of you can donate with an actual monetary donation to the station. If you can do that, we appreciate it because it helps us cover the cost of transmitting this day in, day out. And you can contribute by going to kpft.org or calling 713-526-5738. And we really appreciate supporting our community and music and freedom of speech. Thank you both for tuning in. And hey, we'll see you at the show. Thanks.
You got it, man. We'll see you there.
Bye.